Hi. So I figured this might be a nice time to actually chat a little bit. What I'm doing right now is taking out all of those silly frickin' finishing nails. Ooh, you can't see anything. Hang on. That's crazy. Hopefully that's a little better. I don't know. My frames per second were looking weird. Oh no, they look fine now. No, there they go. So I don't know if this is going to be weird and choppy. It looks like it's running at like 15 frames a second. Whatever. As I was saying, I'm taking out all those little tiny finishing nails that you get with IKEA furniture. These little guys. I tore the backing off, which was just that really flimsy. It's got to be like maybe 1/8 MDF board. That was the backing of the bookcase. It did not come out as easy as the ones in the little Malm dressers, so now I've got a bunch of nails stuck in my frame, and I don't need nails going into the van. So I'm going to be pulling these out, which is going to be a little time consuming, but I was having a thought while I was taking this apart. It feels like it was just yesterday that I put this thing together. Now, I'm not a big reader, so why a bookcase? Well, I'm a huge movie buff, right? But for the last like 5 years, in terms of like somebody not liking clutter and stuff, I slowly got rid of all of my movies. Now, I had gotten rid of a lot of them before I met that person regardless, because let's get serious, the world is moving very rapidly into an all-digital era. So I didn't see the benefit of having a huge movie collection because, I kid you not, back in about 2011, 2012, I had a movie collection that was just unbelievable. Now, there are other people out there with bigger collections for sure, but for me at the time, it was nuts. I filled an entire wall of an apartment, the apartment that I was living in at the time. And majority of it was DVDs. I hadn't quite gotten into all of the Blu-ray stuff yet. But ultimately, when I moved, it took like, I don't know, 3 or 4 of the extra large U-Haul boxes to box all of the movies up. So instead of, and I moved, I think 3 times in the span of a year and a half. I said enough of this, and I sold all of my movies and made the decision, okay, I'm just gonna move everything onto digital. I'll get an external hard drive, and that'll be that. But then some time went on, and I missed having my physical movie collection. There's something about having the actual discs and having everything on display that really sort of announces you as a movie buff, or at least as a collector or something, right? Some people might say hoarder or crazy person. But I like movies and I like discs. So I slowly, over the last year and a half, started building up my collection again. And it started small enough, like it would, right? Having no other discs. So I was able to fit in actually the entertainment unit that you're sitting on right now. That will probably become a kitchen counter in the van. But as time went on, I kept buying more movies, collecting more. The buy and sell store here, which is like a pawn shop, had a great deal. It was like 5 Blu-rays for $20 because nobody really wants them anymore, right? Like I said, digital era and all that. Anyway, to get to the point, I needed a bigger place to keep all of my movies. So I went to IKEA and I bought this bookcase. They have other ones that were far more expensive. This one was on sale. I think it was like $40 or $50 when I bought it. And I brought it home, put it together, and it looked quite good. I almost had too many discs for this to look good. But just tearing it apart now, it really feels like I just put it together. It was quite a while ago at this point, probably maybe even over a year, but it feels like yesterday, because once I had gotten it all together, when it came to putting in that really flimsy backing, I had to do it twice because I put it in backwards the first time. I don't know how I made that mistake either, because one side was ugly beige and the other side was black, just like the rest of this. So clearly the back is supposed to go in so you can see that. Anyways, I don't know why. I was like, oh, just be black all the way around on the outside. And I got it together, stood it up, and that's when I saw the beige on the inside. I was like, well, F me. So another thing is kind of brings to the forefront of my mind, because it's been in the back of my mind for a while, is this Blu-ray collection that was in this shelving unit still exists. I still got it. And while it's nothing, it's a pale comparison to what I had back in 2012. It's still far too substantial to go in the van. Now, I know that I'm going to be building some sort of display units for a few Blu-rays, like my absolute favorites. I mean, I guess it'd be like my collection of movies that you must have for the apocalypse or something ridiculous like that. Because I definitely want some. There's certain movies that I just love having on disc because there's a quality on disc that doesn't exist digitally. And me being out in the van streaming, that quality is not going to be there. So there are a few, like as an example, the Jurassic Park movies, I will keep those on disc. The Pirates of the Caribbean movies, I will keep those on disc. And there's a whole bunch of others, right? I think that's probably going to end up being a whole movie or a whole video. The sad one is me going through my collection and pulling out movies that I'll have to sell again. Back to the buy and sell store with them. I guess I could try putting them up on Kijiji, but I really don't think people are looking for movies in that way. You can't get much more than $1 or $2 for them anyway. So yeah, that's gonna be something we're gonna have to do. But I think that'll make kind of a cool video going through my Blu-ray collection and deciding what to keep for the van and what to get rid of. But I think that's all the nails. So let's take the rest of these boards out and cut these bad boys in half. I figure we'll chat a little bit about what is to come next because the interior is getting wrapped up. My water station, I'm not sure if that video's already come out or if it will be coming after this. That's an awesome video, by the way. So I'm excited for that to come out because that was really cool. So in the same vein as that water station, using what I have, it's the same as these, right? These boards were a bookcase. What my thoughts are, I already went over this in the idea video about having this guy where the top for the wheel well box is sitting, having this old entertainment unit become my kitchen counter, I guess, like where my camp stove will sit. But here's what I want to do. So I'm going to mount this in the van right behind the driver's seat. And underneath it, I was going to build a shelf. Not a shelf, a drawer from scratch. And I was like, wait, I have this dresser from my grandparents. My timer's going off. That hasn't been an hour. Wrong timer. Hang on. Shut up, Siri. This dresser, and I knew I wanted to use it somehow, but it's not usable in this form. It's just too tall, right? With the 5 drawers and everything. But it's really well made. It's back when things were made properly. Well, things are made properly now. You just have to spend thousands of dollars to get decent furniture. But here's the thing with these things is they're already, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, they're dovetailed together. Can we get a, there, like that is good carpentry. So these are solid drawers. So this one, I'm imagining being at the very bottom of that unit. That's my kitchen counter. And then in the middle of it, 2 of these drawers. Problem is, the drawers are wider, getting my steps in today, the drawers are wider than this space here. So normally what I would do with a piece of I keep saying IKEA, it's a day of IKEA furniture. Typically what I do with the IKEA furniture is I take it apart where it's already like naturally joined, which means like this would come off here and off the top, hit it with construction adhesive and then reattach it and let it dry to give it that extra stability. But these 2 points have to actually be expanded further. I don't know how to, this one's got to go over here more. That one's got to go over there a little bit more to accommodate for the shelf. So we're going to have to put our own screws in. But that is A-okay because then this will be a 3-drawer unit and that's lots of space. And even on the ends, I'm planning on doing something. One side, actually this side, because we're actually looking at the back of it right now. This side, I'm thinking my power center, or at least where the battery, the house battery will sit off the hop. That's where that's at. I mean, that's going to be a whole other video. But that's... Darn you, flowers! That's a whole other video. So, but that's just like, this is the point where I'm at now. Like most of the maintenance is done. In terms of like big maintenance that still needs to get done is shocks. That's about it. The maintenance is done, the interior is done, and now it's this creative part. And what's happening, what I'm noticing is I can't stay focused on one thing. Or you start something and you gotta wait for stuff to dry. And it's like, well, now what do I do with my time? I'm trying to be as efficient with my time as possible. And your brain starts to wander and you start to get your creative juices flowing, and then you see what you can do. I've got a whole other IKEA dresser down here, this little 3-drawer Malm dresser that I'm not 100% sure what I wanna do with. Like, I'm thinking one of these front drawer panels would be great for a open up cabinet like this, but the rest of it, I don't know. We'll find something for it, but yeah, so we're gonna wait an hour for these to dry, and hopefully we can get these installed today and wrap up that interior. I don't know what that was.